I feel a little bit off about the subject of this video, and the reason I feel off is I'm not able to really narrow it down to a single subject. Or no, that's not even it. What I'm not able to do is really identify what the subject is. I guess that's better. So what I mean by that is, let me put it in a nutshell. What I'm trying to say is how people in the spiritual community, when they get far enough down the path, they start getting confused and they start feeling like there's no clear-cut answers for guidance and direction. You know, initially when you start on the path of spirituality, you find a guru, you read your books, regardless of what religion or faith or whatever it is, and you really feel like, aha, I finally found my home in the spiritual community. I'm making headway. I'm really happy with where I am. I'm learning things. I feel excited. And then it starts to go away eventually, because you're getting closer to enlightenment. Let's put it that way. You're getting closer to in some people's point of view, the ultimate goal, I suppose. But that was never mine, because I never even considered enlightenment. But most people have this, that are in the spiritual phase of trying to understand what reality is. They go through the different phases, and they will eventually, if they put enough effort into it, they will, and assuming that their heart is desirous to know God and to know the truth, they will eventually hit a wall, so to say. And it may take years and years and years hitting against that wall where they're just not making any headway. And that's normal. That's normal. So now let's take that concept and set it aside. And then the other concept is, why is it so difficult to make that headway? Why is it so difficult to move forward when there is so much effort to pull you this direction or that way, and you know it isn't the right direction, you know it isn't true? And for instance, I constantly beat on the subject of non-duality, about how it's so horrible and it's a misguided teaching. At best, it's a misguided teaching. It's satanical at worst. And so why do I say that? And it's because there's an endless effort in this world to lead you astray. I have to apologize on this video, because the message I'm trying to get across is so damn difficult. And I know it from your perspective, you're probably thinking, why the hell doesn't he get to the point? And it's because the point is so hard to get to. It's not, I'm actually struggling to get to the point. So in this world, there's so much effort to lead you astray, because according to Jesus, you know, this wasn't the world that he's the king of. He's not the God of this world. Satan is the God of this world. And so because of that, there's a tremendous effort on the satanic part to lead you astray. That's just the way it is. Now, the reason I thought to talk about it, or let's put it this way, the reason I put it off for the past couple of weeks, I just couldn't seem to solidify things. And then I live in Las Vegas, and yesterday we had a whole year's worth of rain in one day. And the interesting part of that is you go out in the community and the roads are almost impassable. They're covered with rocks and boulders and dirt and lots of flooding issues and stuff like that that was there hours prior and has since gone and dissipated, but we still have the aftermath of it. And it's like, but think about it this way. The flood is very damaging, but it's just one raindrop at a time. And you can say to yourself, well, how damaging is a raindrop? It's not damaging. But how much if there's a million raindrops or an infinite amount of raindrops in a short period of time causes a massive flooding. So when you take that concept that I just told you and you apply that to the spiritual realm on this planet Earth, and you take the demonic people, which outnumber the non-demonic people in this reality, and it's just one raindrop at a time. And so people that get deep down the rabbit hole, so to say, of spirituality, you start seeing these patterns and everything, and you go, who's running the program here? Who's in charge and everything? But that's like saying, who's in charge of the rainstorm that happened yesterday? There may be a single source, but you're never going to know what that single source is. All you see is the individual raindrops. And in this world, there is an endless number of people that are demonic, tied together for a single cause, that's making life absolutely a living hell for righteous people that are trying to know God and trying to find the truth. And that holds true for every faith and religion that ever existed, meaning at one point in time, most faiths, let's put it that way, at one point in time, there was a living, breathing human being that had inspiration from the Creator to bring forth some truth and knowledge. And if it was in India, they would call him a guru. And if it was in Europe, they would have called him an apostle or, whatever, different names, but the same concept. And so when that person has died, quickly the process of corrupting whatever that person taught goes into play, and it's corrupted because the adversary or the satanic forces or the demonic forces are not subject to life and death as we are to the leaders, let's put it that way. They're immortal. And so they are able to, in an organized effort, keep the process going the way they want it to go, and they will convert the teachings of whatever that enlightened individual was to something that's perverted and leads you astray. This would explain why so few people are enlightened in this world, and yet there are so many people that know about enlightenment. And it's because you could listen to an enlightened teacher right now today, for instance, but does that mean you're going to become enlightened? No. And why? Because you have a preconceived notion of what it is. You have a preconceived notion of what reality is because you've been perverted or you have been taught by perverted truths and everything to lead you astray, so that when the truth does hit you, you don't really recognize it up front. I'm kind of talking fast here. So I just wanted to bring that part up. And so, and right now in the world, there's a lot of people talking about, things are bad and evil and you need to turn them around. Well, but all it takes is one raindrop the other direction, so to say. So if you want the world to turn around and be a better place, spiritually speaking, It just takes a whole lot of people pushing the other direction, ever so slightly. But that's not what's happening in the world today. The evil people have control of the whole planet. And why? Because there's way more of them than there are the other side. And so I think that's the concept I just wanted to teach. I know it's muddy and it doesn't seem like much. This subject matter is just it's so muddy. It's so muddy. I even hate to talk about it in that way because it does, maybe it just makes things more confusing. I don't know. But getting back to, I'm going to shift gears now. And the last thing I'm going to talk about on this video is, on a few videos ago, I talked about the creation of money. And it is so important because think about yourself, or not even yourself. Think about how would a person become spiritually knowledgeable and understand what reality is. And let's say you could get yourself away into the forest and you could contemplate what reality is and start learning about the spiritual truths and all that kind of stuff. But now let's take it a different way. And let's say you're in a prison concentration camp and you don't have any free time to yourself, and you've always got these masters whipping you and keeping you in line and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's the way it is in the world today, kind of. Because of the way money is made, we are all slaves to a system that keeps us busy trying to earn a living and trying to survive and everything, when it shouldn't or could be a different way. I won't say shouldn't, but it could be a different way. But because the creator of money is either Satan or one of his top lieutenants or whatever, we're all slaves in this reality. Most people, including those that watch this video, just can't conceive. Well, they can conceive, but they don't understand the nature of how money is made. Let's put it this way. There is one person in charge of making money throughout the world. One. Not a million, not 1,000 banks. I know what the colleges and universities teach, but they're all wrong. That's just a smokescreen so you don't find out what the truth is. There's one person in the entire planet Earth that creates money. That person brings in, I'm kind of rounding it, I'm kind of guessing, but that person brings in somewhere in the ballpark of, say, 10 to 20 trillion dollars a year of income. They don't do any work, by the way. They don't do anything other than they are the creators of money. Sorry for that big loud noise. There's some guy out there with a hot rod. Anyways, that one individual creates all the money in the world, and they pull in 10 to 20 trillion dollars a year, and they use that money and dissipate it throughout the entire planet Earth, giving it to all the, they funnel and filter it through the system, to all these world leaders of money, like George Soros and his son, and the whole system that way is that they filter that money into them. Like Soros might be getting the money from one individual that gets it from another individual, and then it eventually leads to a demon or Satan or whoever it is that's in charge of creating money in this world. It's just one person. It's not a human being, by the way. It isn't. And that's why the planet is so corrupt. This has been going on since the time Jesus was alive. The same individual that was alive when Jesus was alive is still alive today, 2,000 years later. That one individual is the creator of money, and always has been for all time. I mean, I don't know how long Satan has been the god of this world, but that's how long he's been creating money. And people are just absolutely, utterly ignorant of this fact. And Even when they hear stuff like what I'm saying, they would think, well, this guy John, he's just absolutely out of his mind. He's lost it. He's absolutely insane. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I guarantee you, I do know what I'm talking about. 100%, I guarantee you. Just as much as I know about spirituality and God and enlightenment and all that kind of stuff, I can tell you I know about who or how money is being created. And the reason I bring that up, why do I harp on this, just like I do non-duality and stuff? Why do I constantly harp on this? And I do because it makes it so extremely difficult worldwide to have a spiritual community and to raise the spirituality of the entire planet Earth. It's like I said, that storm that created all the damage and everything, one raindrop at a time, but millions and billions and trillions of raindrops together create that problem. And so that's the way money is. In other words, there's one creator of money, but as long as that money is distributed out to evil people that do what the creator of money wants done, well, then you have an entire planet that's ruled by evil and psychopathic people. And that's what we have today. How do you turn it around? Well, you turn it around by creating money correctly. But the problem is it just can't be done because people don't know that that's what's going on. They think, well, let's put it this way. They believe what they have been taught. And it's been taught that way for thousands of years. It just simply isn't true. Anyways, I think with that, I'll close. And I appreciate you watching this video. And the reason I appreciate it is because you're one drop of rain. And how many people do you contact? How many people are you aware of that you know that spiritually you're another positive raindrop going in the other direction? By the way, you and I, and however many of us there are, we're not going to change the world. We're not going to fix it. We may make it better if we try, but we're not going to fix it. That's not the point of this reality and existence. The point of this reality and existence is to give you the opportunity to make choices in very difficult times and in very difficult situations. And then that determines the character of what and who you really are. So recognize, as I said before in my last video, there's some rough times coming down the pike. I don't know if it's 1 year from now, 5, 10 years, I don't know. But there's going to be some really rough times for the survival of mankind. There's going to be hundreds of millions, if not billions, of people die within a several-month period. Eventually. I don't know when, but well, I saw it in a vision, just like I saw all these forest fires in a vision. And I saw these forest fires in a vision well before there were any forest fires. The first time I saw that vision was like 21, 22, 23, maybe 23 or 24 years ago. And it was such a powerful vision. I related that to one of my sons and my nephew and a few other people, my wife included. And of course, I didn't know how it related to this world we live in now. I just knew that it was a vision, and there was no way I could ignore it. Well, the same thing happened with the demise of so many hundreds of millions, billions of people. It's the same thing. So just recognize the way. I know I'm sounding like a crackpot, and I'm really sorry. I just think I need to tell people or tell you that the way it comes about is it's not accidental. It's not like asteroids from outer space or space aliens or any of that crackpot stuff. It's a manipulated thing by by the creator of money, basically. And they're going to create a worldwide societal breakdown where the dominoes start falling in a cascading, not society, but the financial system, and eventually you won't be able to buy food and water and gasoline, and it's going to last several months, up to 5 months, and so many people are going to die. I hope it doesn't ever happen, actually, and I'm hoping with all hope that it doesn't happen. But I just thought I'd better throw that out there, that in my vision, when it did happen, it happened over the course. It went from absolutely nothing to full-fledged anarchy within about a 4 or 5 day period. So just recognize that that's what it is. And I don't mean to be an alarmist. I'm only telling you this because spiritually, as long as you're prepared and recognize that this is coming, for you and I, if you can get through it, if you can manage, utilize that time for spiritual, if you can survive, use it for spiritual growth. You and I can't do anything about it. We're just a raindrop. We can be a raindrop in the positive side, but there's too many on the other side. And so we just have to do the best we can. Anyways, I love you. I really hope the best for you. And if you have any questions, keep asking, and I will do the best I can to help you understand. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.